An Corla agus nulog chuna gwich agus the gachtainna sa teach go háirithe donna hibricí a thugann takeíocht doing gach lá agus uaireanta síthe freisin. I would also like to wish a very happy Christmas to all the nurses and indeed all the midwives and all the emergency staff across this state who provide us with a wonderful service. And no doubt they will all be reeling in horror today at the news that the bondholders are being bailed out. I'll just give you the full quote from yourself, Taoiseach, when you said that Anglo-Irish is not getting another red cent of our money, and any bank coming looking to us for money is going to have to show how they will impose losses on their junior bondholders or their senior bondholders or other creditors before they come looking for us for any more money, not another cent. That's the full quote. And then later, speaking at an event in Beaumont Hospital, ironically, you described the bondholders as being at the bottom of the pile. Well, I bet you the nurses who voted yesterday by 94–95% to take strike action after Christmas feel that they are at the bottom of your pile. Because as we hurtle towards Christmas, people who work an extra shift a week for the last 10 years for nothing, and who have given up pay, hours, promotion, pensions in order to bail out Anglo-Irish to the tune of 30 billion. The money didn't fall from the sky, somebody paid from it, and it happened right across this public sector. And nurses are sick of it, and they're sick of it because not only does it hurt them and their families and their careers, but it hurts the people they look after, because they cannot retain and recruit the staff that are necessary. And please don't give me as an answer that nurses are on 70 grand a year, because I don't know what pay scales you're looking at. I'm looking at the pay scales that the IMO submit in their weekly magazine to their members, where they describe exactly what they're looking for by taking strike action of 24 hours at a time in the new year. And most nurses are still paid less than Gardaí, are still paid less than teachers when they reach almost the top point of the scale after 10 or 15 years, and it's nothing like 70,000. And they still work, and it sticks in their craw, and you must know this because members of your family are in the service. It sticks in their craw that they still have to work a shift every month for absolutely nothing. None of us in this house do that. None of you in the gallery do that. Why are nurses expected to do it, and why are they being treated in this way, left at the bottom of the pile to take strike action? Now, you just announced there that this state is going to benefit to the tune of 600 million. But instead of saying, let's give that to the nurses to sort out their pay claim and let's take them seriously, instead of forcing them out onto the street to take strike action, Paschal Donoghue has said that he will use that money to reduce the Exchequer bill even further, to take more money back from the money that we bailed the bondholders out for. I just want to make the point to you that the General Secretary of the Nurses Union believes, and she doesn't say this lightly, that the reason they're taking strike action is because they cannot get other nurses to take up the jobs. And that's right across the board, from general nursing, from midwifery to psychiatric nursing. How do you go home from here and say to everybody, have a happy Christmas, except nurses, midwives and psychiatric nurses who are looking forward to having to take strike action after Christmas?
Pay increases. We go back to where we were before, and we don't want to make those kind of mistakes again.
Deputy Smith.
I just want to correct the record. When you came into office, you came in on the promise of burning bondholders, but you capitulated when the ECB made a threat that a financial bomb would go off in Dublin, and then the government pulled back from their position. And not only did you impose austerity, but you escalated austerity. In the last number of years, many people have suffered from that austerity, but particularly public sector workers. And I would argue with you, Taoiseach, that you've just given us a figure there of what it would cost, 300 million. Ironically, it almost mirrors the money that the junior bondholders are about to be paid. 367 versus 300 million, and we're going to get back 600 million. We could settle up with the nurses and making a bland statement that the physiotherapists and the radiographers wouldn't accept that. It's just bizarre for you to make that statement. You're not the negotiator, and you cannot just make that statement in a bland way. This government needs to sort out the problem, not just because it is a problem for the lives and the families of the nurses, but it's also a problem for every single one of us citizens who have to use a health service where we cannot recruit and retain nurses. For the children who can't get psychiatric services, because PNA will tell you that they are hemorrhaging nurses from the state because they can do better elsewhere. This has to be sorted, and sooner or later you're going to have to face up to it. And please don't tell me that you will sort it after you force nurses out onto the street in the months of January, when the health service is creaking at its worst crisis.
Taoiseach, to conclude, please.